We'd like to know if you're using any coaching currently for frontline managers. Is anyone leaning on the actual managers to coach, or does no one even trust them?
One of the things we're trying to move the needle on is there's job descriptions for a supervisor or manager, but then there are what we call success profiles. And we're trying to move in the direction of success profiles that says, in your role, if you are really good at coaching, whatever the skill is, here's what it looks like. And then here are the derailers that you should avoid because it'll cause more trouble, pain, whatever. So we're trying to set up those supervisors or those managers for success in what does really good look like and what derailers do you need to be aware of so you don't run into a stumbling block.
Here are some of the questions that I'm asking right now. And we thought we'd focus on 3 that we highlighted and bolded.
Anton, one of the questions that I was going to have for you, I'm curious how managers are going to be, the leaders of the managers are going to be engaged. So like, what are their expectations to continue sort of that development and developing others, develop themselves too?
What we're looking for in a solution, a way that we can keep those leaders of the frontline managers engaged, aware, and up to speed on what's being covered, because I want them reinforcing this. And if we're going to move, the nice thing is because we're a small organization, we don't have 50 layers, right? We have more than we should. And we're looking at how we address that, but it's not as bad as a 54,000 person organization, right? And so those people who are going to be funding this work and agreeing to move this forward are the same people we'll be asking to inspect. We'd like to see what are your situations and some of the recommendations based on your experience.
Yeah, this is something similar to what you described years ago. Coaches were used mostly at the executive level, and they were very, very costly. So on average, 10, 20,000 plus for a coaching assignment. And in recent years, we've really looked to scale coaching and provide it for more and more leaders at different levels, even for individual contributors. Now we have such a low price point for some of our coaching programs that we're able to offer them to all of our ERG chairs and co-chairs, who in most cases are individual contributors. So we've really increased the volume of leaders being coached at CNA and also really lowered the average price point.
We'll talk about why people tend to choose BetterUp, but like if you do nothing else, there's so much psychological research anchoring in it is the best thing that you can do to accelerate the development, change behavior, and drive the long tail of really getting the results you want. We use a data model that is peer reviewed and validated that people take before they start coaching that helps us tell Anton, like, hey, your frontline leaders, they lack psychological safety. That's why they're not providing feedback to their directors, because they're fearful of that ability to manage up. Though they might be really strong in employee engagement and they may be really strong in the way that they recognize and empower others, there's a gap here. And that might not have been exactly where you would have built your program, or that might not be where every coaching organization would have started with those individuals. And so we use this idea of using the data model to understand where people are at, apply coaching, because it's the best way to change behavior. What types of coaching are you using? For anyone who's doing group, anyone want to share what they're doing for group coaching?
That's our group model. That's our model. Like it is group-based coaching, cohort learning for new managers specifically. And it's an alternative to one-on-one coaching, especially for audiences that have a lot of unconscious incompetence, and helping them support each other, getting a lot of the basics is really powerful, especially as a precursor to one-on-one coaching. So I think it's a great complement depending on where you want to take it.